not yet. We may, or may not. Okay. You can go on my page and share the live from there. Giving you the opportunity to enjoy some of our beautiful theme song music. It is 8:08. That's the time in the studios at Q95 FM Radio. Good evening, one and all, and welcome to the In the Spotlight Radio Show for today, Monday, the 25th day of the month of January in the year 2021. Wherever you are, good evening. Thank you to those of you who have joined us via our Facebook Live. We always encourage you just to say hi, say good night, let us know that you are there with us. And those of you who are tuned in via Q95 FM radio, we thank you for joining us via this medium. The live, the Facebook Live, it's on my page, it's on my public page, it's on the In the Spotlight Radio Show page, it is also in the group, in the Spotlight Radio Show group. So many areas that you can go and tune in to the program tonight. My guest is also sharing it on his page, so you can check it out there as well. So Q95 FM Radio, we say thank you for allowing us this time slot on a Monday night to bring you a program that inspires, that motivates, that evokes all kinds of emotions, sometimes tears, sometimes laughter. Whatever emotion that our program evokes from you, we hope in every way it's always a positive one. A pleasant good night to the folks at Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited. They may be closed at the moment, but they're very open here in the studios. And we thank them for their gift of barefoot fruscato. And it says that this delicious sweets blends are made with wine and natural flavors, bursts with, let's try to read that. You know, I have the glasses on, with aromas of juicy refreshing watermelon, apples, strawberries, and peaches. It's a new flavor that they have at Josephine Gabriel and Company under the Barefoot brand. Check it out. Only $28.50 retail. And this gift is for my guest tonight, so you can take your bottle of wine and you can show it to your guests, show it to the folks on the live.
Thank you.
All right. Josephine Gabriel and Company Limited also provides us with Tuapito Pure Dominica water so that we can sip on while we're on the program. I have to highlight as well Deepex. Emily owe me a few things. I suspect I'll intercollect this week. Thank you to Deepex for partnering with us as well on the In the Spotlight radio show. And Deepex provides us with a token for each of our guests as well as a $25 We Forward voucher. GK, Jordan, good evening to you. Thank you for your help and your support as always. Akim Lowe of Innovate Multimedia. Akim does those beautiful flyers, so clean and good work. I really love Akim's work, so thank you, Akim. And again, as we always invite you to support our social media platforms. We have our In the Spotlight radio show, the group by the In the Spotlight radio show. There's my page. You can follow me. I can't add any more friends at the moment, but you can feel free to follow me. There's always exciting stuff happening on my page, okay? So apart from that page where I do everything on, I have my public page where, you know, of course it features more of the public things. And my recently launched Triple F Marketing and Advertising, you can look out for that page as well, and like and follow the page as well. If you're just tuning in, we were just doing our introductions, but we are live in the studios of Q95 FM radio for the Monday night favorite program, the In the Spotlight radio show. And we have quite a few viewers as well on our Facebook Live. We thank you for choosing this medium. Those of you who are on radio, we thank you as well. Tonight's program is all about inspiring and motivating. Our guest, we'll say goodnight to him in just a while, right after this very short break.
In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday nights from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining. A must listen to In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
Good evening to you once again and welcome. Thank you for choosing in the Spotlight Radio Show tonight. I am your host. I notice that I don't very often say my name. I just figure everyone knows my name. But of course, there's always a case where someone is listening for the first time or viewing for the first time. So I am Ferdina Frampton, your host and producer of the In the Spotlight Radio Show. And it is my pleasure to be here every Monday night to bring you this very, very, very much appreciated program, I must say. People continuously tell me and share with me how much they appreciate the program. Hey Charlie, good evening to you. I always meet Charlie in town and Charlie always says, Verdines, I listen you to Verdines. And Charlie has had a couple of recommendations for me, and you know, he also gives suggestions. And you too can also give suggestions for the program. Feel free to inbox me. Those who have my number, you know, send me a message. The number that I use for this program is 275-7565. If you go on any of my Facebook platforms and there's the option for the WhatsApp, that comes to my 275-7565 number. So feel free to communicate with me, give me your suggestions. You know, very often I try my best to bring on those recommended by the listeners and fans of the program. Okay, so I think it's about time. Where parle assez déjà, I think it's about time that we introduce our guest on the program tonight. His name is Kirk Edwards. And we're going to learn quite a bit about Kirk tonight. Outside of the fact of what I've been pushing, which is Kirk actually emerged as the Valedictorian of the UWI Open Campus in 2018. But you know, you would think that was the only time he was a valedictorian. No. This guy did this 2 other times before. We're going to find out about this and much more tonight. And I hope that by the end of the program, Kirk can be an inspiration not only to me, because I'm currently a UWI Open Campus student, but to others as well who are considering the option of going that way. Kirk might share with us, similar to me probably, I don't know, we've not spoken on that level. How is it that he probably didn't go the traditional way of going to study abroad and so on and so forth. So we're going to learn quite a bit about Kirk tonight. It's all about education. And wait till he tells you what his major was. Not my favorite of all time, but we'll see.
Right.
Kirk, good evening to you, my dear. Let me first thank you for agreeing to do this. I had to try you twice, but the second time was a charm this time around. Good evening to you.
Good evening, Ferdina, and to the listening public. I am very excited to be here.
I am excited to have you. Yes. So I don't know if there's anybody in particular you want to say good evening to. You must say good evening to the listeners and to the viewers and to anybody else you want to say good evening to.
Of course, to my wife at home, Kishma, and Caleb. I hope you are watching.
Is Caleb your daughter?
My son, Caleb.
Yes. Caleb. Oh, I thought
Yes.
you said Caleb.
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 Yes.
Okay.
My little white boy. To my family, I know my mom is tuned in, and all of my extended family, and I think some of my students, past and present, are also locked in, and some I think some of my co-workers and friends all over the Caribbean and even in the US. So thank you for the support. I got some really encouraging words once I had confirmed, I guess, and so I'm happy to be here.
I'm happy to have you, Kirk. And the first time I asked you, you were a little iffy.
I was.
Why?
I don't like the spotlight, I can tell you. Anybody who knows me knows that I don't like the spotlight, and your show name is in the spotlight.
Correct.
So,
Correct.
yeah.
But then I tried again,
Yes.
a second time, and then you consented this time. What drove you to say yes to me?
A number of reasons, actually. I believe I can serve as an inspiration for many, and so as I looked at your show last week, I looked at it in its entirety, and I felt that, you know, this is a good platform to just get out there and reach out, maybe share my story and somebody else's life would be impacted by it. That is all we can hope for.
And the host is alright, you know.
I mean, the legendary.
The host makes you comfortable, and that's the most important thing, you know. I always say that I want my guests to be very, very comfortable when they come on the program.
Yes.
There is something that I do, and most of my guests, if not all, will tell you that I say to them, if there's anything that you're absolutely not comfortable talking about on the program, just let me know. And the reasons have been given in the past, you know, have been reasons enough for me not to go down certain paths, you know, with guests on the program. So I normally try my best to make it, you know, as comfortable as possible, because I want you to share. I want you to share openly, and I want you to share honestly, and I want you to be comfortable doing it, because that is the focus of what we are about. So thank you again, Kirk, and I want to thank all those. I hope your wife was one of those who encouraged you to come on and to do the program. So thank you, wifey, and thank you to everybody else who said, Kirk, you know, it's something that you should do. Tell me about your Kalinago.
I am
proud. Yes.
Kalinago and proud.
Oh, and he gives us the, you know, the fist, Kalinago and proud. What does it mean to be Kalinago, Kirk?
Wow, where do I even begin? To be Kalinago, to be one of, you know, a very small group of indigenous peoples, I guess. It's just a privilege to be born into that, just a unique tribe, a tribe that has been resilient for you know, since before Christopher Columbus's time, when he landed on our shores and decided that he wanted to take over it. But I'm just proud to know that I come from such a long lineage, a heritage that is so rich, and to be standing on the shoulders of such giants, you know, of just the culture. It's a beautiful thing, and I'm just proud to be a part of it.
Mm-hmm. Tell me about your people.
Oh, my people. Wow, where do I begin? My people are just a special bunch, and I do mean that in the most best way possible. We are unique in that we do not follow the norms as society would allow us to. We just do our own thing, and sometimes it comes off as being a little territorial, but that's okay. I'm okay with that. We are loving people, we are caring people, we are hardworking, and we are, of course, resilient. You know, that word was thrown around so much after Maria, but it makes so much sense to call Kalinago resilient. And I am just so blessed to be a part of that, I guess. Yeah.
What would you do differently if you had to, in terms of the territory where you live and where your people live?
It is a beautiful place, but I don't think many people know that. It's a rich and culturally diverse place, even though it's Kalinago, and a lot of people don't know that. There are a lot of talented people. There are so many brilliant minds. Kalinagos are known for their mathematics. I can tell you, Ferdina. And so to just have people know that is a big plus for us.
So you're going to let people know about that tonight on the
Absolutely.
program. And it really feels good to hear how proud you are of your heritage and of your people and where you come from. You speak about possibly persons thinking that you may be territorial in terms of your territory, but it is a territory, isn't it? So you're supposed to be territorial. But what would you like to see? What sort of improvements would you like to see with your people? We're not going to dwell too much on that, but if we're talking about Kalinago, we want to just talk a little bit about Kalinago and the territory.
What I'd like to see, it's a little bit more of marrying between the traditional as well as the modern, because we are in a modern era and we can't just ignore that fact. But we have such a rich heritage that we are unable to also forget about that fact. So the marrying of that with housing, with the land situation that we have, with education being a major priority. I think those are some of the real areas I think that just needs to be married together.
What about commercial activity?
Absolutely, because I mean Kalinago territory is one of the forefront in tourism in the entire of Dominica. So just boosting up the tourism industry, I mean, that would be a huge plus. Jobs and just getting the word out there about the Kalinagos. It would be a huge plus for us.
It would be a huge plus.
Absolutely.
Okay, just sharing a bit on the Kalinago territory there with the son of the soil, Kirk Edwards, and I couldn't help it, you know, I had to speak to him a bit, and I did alert him that I would be talking to him just a little bit, you know, about his community, where he comes from, and his people, and I know they're very proud, you know, and I really wanted him to come here today and not only speak about how proud he is of his home, of his community, but how proud he is of his people.
Absolutely.
And his people in turn listening tonight can be very proud, equally proud of you being on this program tonight and sharing with us. You come from the community of Bataka in the Kalinago territory. Let us talk about Bataka and what is unique about Bataka compared to the other areas.
Well, I often tell people Bataka is the capital of the Kalinago territory. It's pretty much...
Would you be challenged on that?
I could, but I have my reasons, of course.
Okay.
We are not, I don't want to say advanced, but it's more of a people's community where we have a lot of activities there and a lot of people gather there, so that's just my reasoning for that. And because I live there, that's all. There's no big reason for it.
No big reason.
I didn't think of anything, no.
Okay, so Bataka is where you're from.
Yeah.
Tell me about some of the other communities within the territory. So there's Bataka.
Right. We are on the most northern part of bordering with Atkinson.
Right.
And then on the side of us is Concord. Going up the road you have Crayfish River with the famous Jolly John Spa. That's the Sally Bear community. You have Sensi, Gullet River, Bajo River, and Siniku on the southern end.
That's a lot of communities.
Yeah, it's a few little hamlets, each unique in its own way. But we are one. We are just one.
And you have a young chief.
Yes.
You have a young chief.
We do. From Bataka.
He's from and he says from Bataka. From Bataka, yes. What do you think about your young chief?
He has energy, which we all look for in a leader, and of course, just fresh new ideas.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. All right. So Bataka is where you're from. Tell me about your roots, your family from Bataka.
Okay, so my mom is originally, well, she grew up in Concord, which is on the other side, but as well in part in Bataka. I was born and bred there, so all my life I lived in Bataka.
Oh, okay.
My father is from La Plaine, Casgary Massive. So it's a mix of, you know.
So your father is one of those who infiltrated and
you can say that, yeah.
Okay. All right. So dad is from La Plaine,
Yes.
mom is from
Bataka. Yes.
and you're born and bred
yes.
in Bataka.
Yes.
Tell me about them.
My mom is just a beautiful soul.
Oh.
She's one of the most loving people that you could ever come across. She's just so resilient. She is just so kind and compassionate, and she raised me to be something like that. I hope I turned out as close to her as I can. Yeah.
And your dad?
My father, who I didn't have a lot of opportunities when I was growing up to be. He had migrated, but he has become a part of my life in the last 5 or so years. A more active role in my life, especially now that I have my son, and I hold his face as well as my son. We have the same face, so it is just a beautiful thing to see that. You know, even after so many years, there can be some reconciliation. And
was that difficult for you to?
To some extent, yes, yes. I would be remiss to say that, you know, there wasn't some daddy issues eventually in my life, but you know, hurdles crossed.
course.
And of course, I want to do better for my son.
Right, and so now you have a good relationship with your father.
Yes, I do.
He has a relationship with your son.
Yes.
And that is important in keeping your family unit together.
Yes, absolutely.
Yes.
Absolutely.
So that means you grew up mostly with your mom.
Yes, I did have a stepfather.
You had a stepfather.
Yes,
Is
yes.
he still with us?
No, he's deceased.
Okay.
Yes.
All right. What was it like, having a stepdad in your life?
Well, I couldn't compare the two because he had left pretty much early in my life, but he was somebody who was hardworking and he provided for his family, which I can appreciate to this day. As being a father now, I can definitely appreciate his contribution to my life.
Tell me some of the things that your mom taught you.
Oh wow, she taught me just being kind and sharing, to just be myself. Don't let the naysayers get to you, and just be you. Be Kirk.
Be Kirk.
That's the best you could do.
All right.
Yeah.
I like the fact that she taught you to be kind.
Yeah.
Because it's really important to be kind to
Yes.
others.
Absolutely.
There is a talk show host, so at the end of a show, Ellen, I think it says, be kind to others. So I think that is something that is important. So if that's one of the things that she taught you, and you've carried that through your life, then
Right.
you've done well.
I think I've done.
You've done well so far. So growing up in Bataka as a little boy, help us understand, those of us who have no experience of growing up in the Kalinago territory, tell us what it was like growing up in Bataka.
To be honest, you can look at me and not directly see that I am Kalinago.
No?
It's pretty much because of, I guess, somewhere along the line there was some French influence, there was some of the Negro influence there. So I wasn't considered, well, I wouldn't say I wasn't considered, but there were question marks at the back of Kalinago. It would be like, the white boy.
That's what they called you.
Oh yes. So, but I knew what I was.
So you looked a little more Caucasian than you did Kalinago.
And to some extent Chinese.
Oh my, yes. Oh my goodness.
Oh yes. So you can imagine that melting pot,
Yes. It was a bouillon.
Yes, let me tell you. So growing up, it was just and so, but that didn't hinder any of us. And as young children, that kind of thing, it's not really put out there in your face to say, Kalinago, that kind of thing. It wasn't any of that. So it was more everybody kind of just play and work together kind of thing.
Let's talk about the childhood elements, what was it like? We've heard the stories.
I was oh Lord.
What kind of child were you?
I was and still am an introvert, and I'm self-proclaimed, so I claim that. I do go out. I don't. The mingling of people, the energy battery, it dies very quickly.
It dies very quickly.
So going out wasn't something that I liked to do. I did it, and sometimes I just didn't want to say. My brothers and sisters would tell you, I was an inside kind of child, which I was to some extent. But playing around in the bush, running, playing hide and seek, police and dread, all in, that kind of thing. Going to the we live close to the sea kind of thing. Going down there, that is what I remember from my childhood.
That was your childhood.
Yes, I remember that. Yes.
But it's okay to be introverted.
Absolutely, self-proclaimed, and I'm proud.
But I'll tell you, it's hard for persons to believe that people like me, that I am one of those. And just today we were talking about that in our lunchroom. I think at work, that I love being indoors.
Absolutely.
There have been weekends that I just stay inside and I don't go anywhere. I do not need to be out there. I can be very introverted as well.
Yes.
I don't know if people might believe that, but I can be.
Yes.
Those who are close to me will probably know that, but sometimes it's okay. Because you know what, you're not getting yourself in any trouble anywhere, so it's okay to be a bit introverted. And you would have gone to primary school where?
I went to the Atkinson Primary School. I started off at the Lighthouse Christian Academy. That's where I got my foundation from. And then I moved on to the Atkinson Primary from, I believe, 1996. Maybe my mother could help me out.
But wait, Kurt, let me just point out, you're pretty young.
I am.
You're going go numb.
I
Kirk, you're pretty young. Okay.
I'm a 90s baby. Yes.
You're a 90s baby.
Mm-hmm.
It's kind of almost unbelievable. Yes. Okay, go on, Kirk.
Right, so I went to the Atkinson Primary until 2001, I believe, yes.
Okay.
I think I was skipped in grade, first grade it was grade 1, so I was skipped, I was put in grade 2. I guess it's because I had gotten a preschool foundation that the teachers felt that I could have just gone through.
Okay.
So I spent a few days in the class, it just felt I was okay to move on, and I just went ahead.
So that's where it all started, eh?
Yeah, I think
From
so.
there, they skipped you. So that was that the only class that you would end up being skipped?
Yeah, that was the
okay.
only one.
So you went through that, and you went through primary school.
Yes.
And interestingly, Kirk, this is where it even started. Because you were the valedictorian of the Atkinson Primary School.
I was, yes.
How does one do, do they have valedictorians at primary schools?
Absolutely,
Okay.
We had, and
At primary school a long time ago.
Trust me, we had a very competitive year. I mean, we were a brilliant set in that year. And
who were some of the others who were in the classroom? Do you remember?
Shelley Carrington,
Oh.
out there in Trinidad now. I know she's listening. Kamini Boyd, I know she is probably listening as well. We had a few of the others. I just can't remember the names on my top of my head. Dominic Valmont, Agostina Charles, Marlene Laville, just a few off the top of my head.
Very competitive.
Oh yes, very competitive.
And you all were striving to be valedictorian.
Yes, well, at that age, you know, you don't strive, you just try to do your best.
You just tried to do your best.
Yes.
But you all were aware that there was going to be a valedictorian award.
I don't remember. I am just a competitive person, so
You're competitive by nature, eh?
By nature, I am just pulling out here, kind of a competitiveness in me. Yes, so one of my positive traits, I would say.
It's a good trait.
It also can be a downfall. But
Yes. But the downfall part of it, is it that if you don't achieve whatever it is you set to achieve, that it can break you down?
It does have an effect to that extent, but over the years you will learn to control that part of it. It's just emotions.
Okay.
Yes.
So, valedictorian at Atkinson Primary School, were you given a gift, an award? Do you remember?
I have no recollection whatsoever.
No.
I just know that I graduated. I think I remember the ceremony. I have no recollection, to be honest.
So you have nothing at home saying you were valedictorian of
Nothing.
Atkinson Primary School.
Nothing.
Tell them you need something to put on the wall.
I do have my certificate still. Well, it's framed up in
Okay.
my house, so yes, it's there.
Did you sit common entrance?
Yes.
Tell me about common entrance and what happened.
I remember common entrance very clearly because we had a blast. I mean,
What? People
put
get nervous for common entrance.
We were put together with the Lighthouse Christian Academy. There were a few students there, a few brilliant of my friends there too. Cheyenne and Stacy, I know they're listening.
Yes, a few people are saying hello here on the live.
Right, and we were put in the same room, and you know there are two huge flamboyant trees right in the yard, and then the break between the exams, you know, we would go pick them, and in the exam room you hear and Trent saying like, yes, it was exciting. And Trent was setting, and you know, I mean, we had to be warned and all
The
that.
flamboyant tree is the one that makes the thing almost like a shack.
Cock and pullet.
Cock and pullet.
Yes, that one. Yes, it makes a big pod with the shack thing, yes. We had that in the exam, we pelting each other, and
You mean the exam was that easy?
I mean, pretty much most of my friends got scholarships out of it.
Okay. So how did you do?
I got a scholarship.
Of course you did.
I came in second in the district. Back then they were districts.
Okay.
Common entrance, I came in second. My score was 370. I remember that so clearly, that I got 370, and one of my...
Who beat you?
Adrian Paris, another Kalinago. You always want to top spot, Adrian Paris. I remember Adrian lives in Baraka as well, but I think he's migrated now.
Okay.
Yes.
Alright. So Adrian beat you to
Adrian was
it.
from Lighthouse.
Okay.
It was just interesting that the results from our district was Lighthouse, Atkinson, Lighthouse, Atkinson. It was like of the top 8 was Lighthouse and Atkinson for that year. So we had some brilliant minds, I guess, and they are still brilliant. I mean, up to this day, I can safely say that.
So from the Atkinson primary school, after all the fun you had with all your friends and your scholarship, at that time, as a scholarship, what did you receive?
Right, you got books, you got, I think you had a stipend for your transportation to go to school, your books were given to you, and I think your CX is being paid at the end of the 5 years. So.
Okay. Was that welcomed?
Absolutely, because we didn't grow up in a rich family, so obviously a little help does go a long way.
Of course, and it really came in handy and assisted you. So you got your scholarship, and what school did you have to go to?
Right.
Did you have a choice? How did that work out?
So our catchment area is the Castle Secondary School. Few persons got into St. Andrews High School back then. It was one of the prestigious high schools.
St. Andrews.
Yes, Castlebrook was just up and developing at the time.
Okay.
A new school in the area. So we were sent to the Castlebrook school. A few of the students went to St. Andrews, but most of us went to the Castlebrook Secondary. CBSS proud.
Would that have been your preference?
I didn't put thought to it.
It
because it didn't matter. I was just going to school.
Would you have liked to come down to Roseau, for example?
I wouldn't have mattered. It wouldn't have mattered to me. Education is something that achieving in education is always a passion of mine, so it didn't really matter where I was.
Okay.
Yeah.
So you go off to Castle Bruce secondary school, and do you remember what your first day was like at school?
I have no recollection.
No recollection of that?
Okay, I just remember stopping at the supermarket or going home to get snacks. It's weird. We went to school. I think we went to school in the morning. We had a little talk. We had a tour. We went to see our classrooms, and that was it. We met some new people. Remember, we were in a catchment area, so we got to meet new people. But I don't remember much from it at all.
My first day at grammar school, I had a best friend. Did you come with your best friend, or did you?
I had many friends. I had friends. And it wasn't to say one particular person. We just clicked.
You just clicked.
Yes.
All right. So tell me about Castlebrook Secondary School. What was that like?
Wow. Castlebrook, because of the geographical location and the students that it caters to. It caters from as far as Grand Fort, from the south, on the east coast. We've got Petit Soufrière and Saint-Sauveur, and Castlebrook itself, and of course the Kalinago territory. It was a diverse bunch. I mean, as diverse as you get them, you know, because you've got the red people from Petit Soufrière, you've got the Kalinagos, you've got Castlebrook, you've got my friends from Grand Fort and Rivière Syrique. It was just a melting pot. Of course, we had some clashes with race and all of that.
Oh my goodness.
I mean, where wouldn't you get that?
Yes.
But that didn't matter to us. We were just there for education, and I guess we'll make friends no matter what. You get into Castlebrook Secondary School. Yeah.
At that time, did you already start thinking, or were the subjects that you did from the beginning dictated by the school, or did you have a choice?
We had choices. We had choices to select whatever we wanted to do when we got to third, fourth form.
Later on, but
yes.
the 2 first years.
You are given a platform, a foundation, and everything, so you get a little taste. So when you get to fourth form, you will choose which path you want to take.
Okay.
I wasn't too sure what path I wanted to take, so I took all of them.
What does that mean, Kirk?
I took French. Up to this day, I can't speak it, but I tell you, I have a 1 in French. I tell my students that, and they don't believe me.
How much can you say? Bonjour?
I can understand a little bit, just a little bit, but to be honest, I cannot speak it. I mean, I did, I did biology, apart from the core, I did agriculture, because it was one of the only schools offering
agriculture
that.
too.
Yes, one of the only schools offering that kind of agriculture package. So, what else? I just pretty much did like a melting pot of all things. I had no real area of passion as yet. Yes.
So you that sounds like quite a bit. Sounds like quite a bit. At third form or fourth form, you would have had to narrow down. Are you saying that you didn't narrow down there? I
just took it all.
You just took it all. So
yes.
You're talking about how many subjects?
9 in all.
You did 9 subjects in all, and you sat all of these 9 subjects at CXC.
At CXC.
And how did you do?
5 ones.
5 ones.
3 twos.
3 twos.
And I am not gonna. The 3 I will say was I did it on my own.
Oh, okay.
So I am proud of passing.
Okay.
But it was accounts.
It was accounts. I did accounts on my own as well.
I just took the book on the weekend before the exam, and I just read, and I went to do the exam.
Oh my
I got a free. I'm proud of it.
You should be very, very proud of it, my dear.
I am very proud of it.
What were your teachers like? What was the whole high school experience like?
It was. I remember, those ones that really impact you. Mrs. Leslie, Hattie Leslie, she's retired now. She was the principal of the school eventually. She had a big part to play in my math education. Mrs. Melanie Baptist Sanderson had a huge part to play in my English. But there were so many other teachers because those 2 really stuck out to me. But there are many other teachers who really made sure that we learned.
Favorite subjects?
Of course, math. Hands down. I mean, there's no other. I speak the language of numbers.
If you see you was my guest tonight, I just take you, I put you outside and I close it and I tell you, be gone. Be gone. How can math be the favorite subject for anyone?
I mean, some people say you're wired that way. I think I am. Maybe we are a special bunch, but that's how we are. We just like to work with numbers, deal with numbers, that kind of thing.
What is it about it?
It just fascinates us to deal with numbers. I don't know what it is. I can't tell you what it is, but to just have a knack for it, I mean.
When did you realize that you had that passion, that interest in math?
When I used to get hundreds on my exams.
Oh my God, someone says he looks more Chinese than Kalinago.
I get that too.
Oh my.
I get that too.
Well, I couldn't help but notice the comment.
I get that too.
But it doesn't offend you in any way.
Absolutely, no,
okay.
No, absolutely.
All right. Yes. So math. Back to math.
Yes. I just like dealing with numbers. That's just it.
That's just it. Oh, I was asking, when did you realize that you had this passion for math?
I mean, and my mom still has some of my papers from 3rd form and 4th form exams, and just going through them and realizing, how did I get 100 in an exam? An end of year exam, how can you get 100 in your exam? And I think it's around that time I really developed I was like, just do math. Just do it. Just do it. I see the pain on your face by just...
Math is painful.
It is. I mean, I see my students' face all the time and I laugh them sometimes.
It's painful. I do not think there's many people... In fact, I said that to you outside, even before we came in. I think one of the pastors asked you about your subject or whatever the case, and you said math, and I was like, I hate math.
And that is one of the first responses I always get. I hate math. I wouldn't say that you hate math. You were not exposed to it in the right way.
You think so?
I believe so. I am certain. I am certain you were not exposed to it in the right way. So your failures over the year caused you to have a very low tolerance for it.
I hope that you've found a way to get your students who hate math to love math, at least.
At least.
To love it and
yes.
to get by.
To love it enough to do it.
Yes, to love it enough to do it. So high school wraps up, you sit your exams, and you come out with some really good grades in my view. What's next for you?
Right, so I enrolled directly into the Dominican State College. I wanted to do whatever, so I enrolled for mathematics, major in math, and I did have a passion for biology at the time, so I took that up, so I was a double major for math and biology.
Okay.
Yeah.
At the Dominica State College. So you did that for 2 years?
2 years, yeah.
2 years at the Dominica State College. So did you have to travel back and forth?
Oh yeah, for my first year, I think, yeah, I traveled back and forth every day.
Every day?
Every day, yeah.
That's a lot of commitment.
It is, yes. Because the hour and maybe hour and a half drive, I mean, it gets to you. I mean, you have to leave early, get home late, there's not much you can do. So now I look at students do it and I say, I feel your pain. But
so is it that you didn't have a choice in terms of the transportation that you had to, so you had to be up by what time, Kirk?
Well, 6, before 6, you get a bus by 6:30, 7 for the latest.
Oh, you're a quick dresser and eater, eh?
Of course, you get it
you
down
have to do what you have to do.
Yes. when you do it,
yes.
And you're not a morning person, you wake up late every day. So yeah, get to town, get to school by 8. It wasn't. It took a toll on me, health-wise, because you're thinking of eating.
Yes.
Eating on time. I'm not a big breakfast person, so I can just go throughout the morning period. But then on a time, you have to put something in you. A lot of indigestion, and that kind of thing. I remember going for a phase where I had that. It was just not eating on time. Yeah.
So it was not easy.
Oh no,
it was
absolutely
difficult.
no. I think in my second year I started staying with my aunt in St. Joseph.
Okay.
So that was an easier commute.
Yeah. Wow.
Yeah.
So in terms of the Kalinago territory, living from Bataka, you would have to leave by 7 in the morning. Because is that the time the bus would be available, or would there be another bus available?
Yeah, we have buses from as early as 6.
Okay. And what about returning in the evening?
Yeah, same thing.
Same thing.
Yeah, buses used to leave around 4 from workers, and better get on that bus before 4:30 or 5, or you'll stay in town.
You'll stay in town.
Yeah.
Did it ever happen to you?
Oh yes, of course. Going to college, there used to be a bus that used to leave at 6, and in my second year of college I decided, you know what, let me try A-levels. So we had extra classes until 6 or whatever, and we had to run them from college to get a bus. Sometimes the seat you get is on the engine. And sometimes you have, on a passenger bus, you have 20 people, 25 people, but it's a sacrifice actually.
It's a long drive. It's a long
it's
drive.
An hour and a half.
So
when you get to
your
Pop and stay halfway, you have to stop, stretch your legs, take a little break, that kind of thing. That was a normal thing for us.
So imagine you squeezing in a little corner there on the bus. Small up yourself. So you small up yourself and you're sitting there and you have to tolerate that until you get to. It was not easy.
It wasn't that bad. Thinking back on it, there are worse things to think of.
I can imagine.
So,
yes. Before we even continue further, we didn't talk about the second Valedictorian Award. And that would be at CBSS.
Yes.
How was that one?
I remember that one.
You remember that one?
Yes. We were in the big facility that was on the playing field. I think Lauren Bannis was responsible for ensuring that. And we were in that big auditorium.
Yes, I know that building.
And that's where the housing project is now.
Okay.
And I just remember being in there. I remember giving my speech. I remember President Villain Shaw. I had to say his name, and Mrs. Shaw. I remember afterward, I remember just the ceremony, and it was long, it was hot. I mean, we just wanted to, as a person graduating, you just want to get out.
Yeah, because that room is not air conditioned.
No.
It's not air conditioned, that building.
So, but I remember it, I distinctly remember that one for sure.
How do you know how you were selected?
I guess the highest average.
The highest average? That's how it was done?
Yeah.
Did it include extracurricular activities as well?
Now that the Ministry of Education has actually put together a graduation portfolio, but back then it was just pretty much highest average. People with extracurriculars, and so they got awards for that separately.
Did you engage in any extracurriculars?
I did volleyball in high school as well.
volleyball.
Just for a brief, yeah.
Just for a brief period of time.
Yeah, just
so you were more academics
definitely
than you know the
yeah.
other bits. They're just reminding us that it's the reunion center.
That's
Yes,
right.
That's right.
The Castlebush Reunion Center.
Castlebush Reunion Center. I'm going to give you a bit of a break to sip on your water. Time flies very quickly on this show. It's already 4 minutes to the 9 o'clock hour. We're going to take a quick break. Thank you for all the love that you all are sharing with us on the Facebook Live. Good evening again to all the Q95 FM listeners, wherever you are listening from this evening, wherever you tuned in. If you're also online using an online streaming service to listen to us this evening, we are very, very happy and thankful to have you. Somebody saying best math teacher. Well, we're coming to the teaching part in just a while. So just some acknowledgements. Again, thank you to Q95 FM for allowing us the time here on a Monday night to have our In the Spotlight radio show. We thank Josephine Gabriel and company for providing a bottle of wine, Barefoot Fruscato in this case. It's a new line that they have, so check it out. The retail is just $28.50. You can get it, I'm sure, at supermarkets and retailers island-wide. We want to thank Deepex Scholar Lab for their support to the program, as well as GK, Jordan Jerome, Akim Lowe, my designer, who is so really, really good at what he does. Thank you, Akim, and you, the listeners and the fans of the program. You know, thank you for keeping our group very active in terms of our group by the In the Spotlight radio show on Facebook. Thank you to all those of you who allow me to send you broadcast messages. I do not have a WhatsApp group for In the Spotlight. I do not think it's necessary, but I do send out WhatsApp messages, you know, just letting you know at least twice, you know, one time informing you. Sometimes I share the video, the promo video. I share the flyer as well. And, you know, I was sure to ensure that everyone was comfortable with receiving them, and said if you do not want to receive them, let me know. And we had probably just about 10 or less people say, you know, please remove me from the broadcast list. But other than, and they gave their reasons, and, you know, some of them were even a little, you know, cautious in telling me that, no, it's nothing, you know, to take personally. So thank you, all of you, for your support to the program. Don't forget to like and follow our In the Spotlight radio show page. Also become a fan of our group by In the Spotlight radio show. Follow me, Ferdina Frampton. Follow and like my public page, Ferdina Frampton, Instagram as well. And also for now, follow my Triple F Marketing and Advertising page. Thank you again for your support. Without the support of the fans and the listeners, you know, it wouldn't make sense to be sitting here for a program. We're coming right back with Kirk Edwards, the three-peats valedictorian on the In the Spotlight radio show. Your friends and, you know, you seem to have some fans too, your students, they're here giving you some support, Kirk, so it's really good that they can be here to assist you, especially when you are a little shy about the whole thing, but doing well so far.
On Q95 FM radio, every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, public servants, the ordinary Dominican. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM radio every Monday night from 8 p.m.
One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining. A must listen to In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
Alright, so we're coming right back with the program. Thank you, JL. Good evening to you. Someone says math has its people. My daughter is a math wizard. She taught maths at ITSS and got 100% pass for the first time in CXC, her first year at the school as a teacher. This is excellent.
Absolutely.
Yes.
That's a feat. Absolutely.
Yes, indeed. Another listener to the program says he's doing great. So somebody just wanted to let you know that you're doing great. And we are back with the In the Spotlight radio show. Again, thank you for listening, thank you for viewing, thank you for choosing us this evening. Our guest is Kirk Edwards from Bataka in the Kalinago territory. So far we've learned quite a bit about Kirk. We learned about his parents, we learned about growing up in the Bataka community. We learned about his days at the Atkinson Primary School and how he emerged as valedictorian among a very competitive group, and how he went on to the Castle Bruce Secondary School after receiving a scholarship, indicating to us that his family was very appreciative of the scholarship and the support that he received to be able to attend secondary school. Secondary school for him was interesting as well, focused a lot on his academics. Again, emerging as the valedictorian of the Castle Bruce Secondary School in that particular year. I didn't ask Kirk if he has siblings. Do you have siblings?
Yes, I have 2 sisters and 3 brothers.
2 sisters and 3 brothers. Older, younger?
I have Darren, who is older, Kyle, who is younger, and he says that he is the other math genius in the family.
Is he?
He's good.
He's good.
Yes.
Okay, not as good as you?
I mean.
Okay, Darren.
There is Anisha, who is after us, the only girl on my mother's side, and Al, who is the baby, but the biggest of us all.
The biggest of you.
Oh, yes.
He's bigger than you are.
No, his waist are the biggest. No, he's not.
That's
tall.
what you mean.
Yes.
That's what you mean. Okay.
And on my father's side, I have 1 sister.
Okay.
She's abroad.
She's abroad.
Yes.
Okay. All right, Kirk, I just want you to once again say hello to your friends who are tuned in and locked in from, somebody says they're in Santo Domingo, if I'm not mistaken, and your students wanted you to say hi to them.
Saying good night, and I hope you got your homework done. To my students at NECS, as well as to the students at the Adult Ed class that I also do. To my family and friends, thanks for locking in and thanks for the support.
Oh, you're awesome. Okay, so you left, you graduated with an associate's degree. And
in A-level Cambridge certificate in math and biology.
In math and biology.
Yes.
But did you pack the biology aside after a while, or you just...
No, it's still there. I still have not a knack, but I still have an inkling for doing that kind of, the human body, anatomy and physiology, that kind of thing,
At some point, Kirk, did you decide on what it is that Kirk would like to be?
Wow, I just wanted to do something in mathematics. There wasn't any particular career choice. I just liked it. I loved it. I enjoyed doing it. I was good at it, and I just wanted to do it. That is why I applied to do a math major, an undergrad degree at UE, and that is where the whole journey began, I think.
Okay. All right. Probably we should talk about that, and then we'll talk about the teacher aspect and your social engagements and everything else.
Yeah.
So you graduated from the Dominica State College. did you go straight into work, or is it?
Yes,
okay.
I went directly into work.
So I suspect we have to go down that road, and then we'll just bring in the UE part once we get there.
So just because I wanted to get a little work exposure, a little work experience, so I applied to be a teacher. I didn't know that I had a passion for it as yet, and I got accepted at the Northeast Comprehensive, which I am still a part of the staff. So I began teaching directly. I graduated in 2008, and yeah, that same year I started teaching.
Okay.
So fresh out of college.
Fresh out of college, you started teaching. Let's see. Yes, you're correct about it. I was just checking to make sure that we have our dates right.
Yes.
Yeah. So you started teaching at that particular school,
Yes.
and that is the Northeast Comprehensive.
Yes.
Northeast, and you're still there.
I am there still.
You're there still. Okay. So you started teaching what?
Right. So I began with mathematics, and I did some biology as well.
Okay. First form, second form.
Right. So junior teacher, they don't usually put you in the upper forms, CXC. So I started with first and second, I think. But there was a shift in staff, or somebody left or something, and I think in the middle of the term I was just shifted to upper school. So I had fifth form biology, fourth and fifth. I had fourth and fifth for mathematics. Students taller than me, I had to look up to literally. Students who probably went to school together with me but had, repeated also. People from my village who on the road would call me Kirk, and they would still call me Kirk in school. So that was a quick change, a very drastic change.
Yes.
Yeah.
But getting into teaching, what was it like for you the first time in?
It came naturally. I come from a family of educators.
Okay.
My Auntie Kato is a principal. She's the president of the principal of Singapore Primary. Auntie Vanya, who is also my aunt, she was the principal of, I think, Jones Hopi and Delices Primary, and she became an educational officer, I think. So it was in my lineage, and I sought assistance from them. And pretty much while I was in college too, I also tutored math students. So the training came earlier, and it was just a natural thing to, I guess, progress into a class of students. It came naturally to me.
Okay. And what about when that drastic move was made to move you to the upper classes?
It wasn't anything. I handled it. I mean, you're a new teacher, you've got the classroom management issues, you've got teaching styles and all of that. But I managed.
What is it like being a teacher?
Wow, it is like having 5 million caps on at one time, I can tell you. Because you've got to be a motivator, especially when something like mathematics, when you come to the class and the face of the students depress you. So you've got to be a motivator. You have to be a policeman to make sure that everybody is disciplined and seated. You have to be a mediator when there is trouble. You have to be a doctor, an advisor. On top of that, teaching. So, it's a lot of caps to wear, and I don't think a lot of people understand that, and so they don't have the appreciation. I think COVID came and it taught parents a little bit of a lesson as to what they do with their students and their children at home. That appreciation was quickly dropped, I would say, but there's so many hats to wear. It becomes difficult if you don't know what you're about.
How would you describe the type of teacher that you are?
I am,
Are you tough?
I am not as
Are you a disciplinarian?
Tough. I am not a disciplinarian. I try my best to make students enjoy what they're doing, and I enjoy it as well. That's why I say there's a lot of things. There must be a huge thing to get me angry, to get me upset in class.
I can tell. You seem like a cool guy.
So there's not much to get me riled up. So I'm an easy, calm going person. My students can probably tell you on the live.
One says you're a trickster.
but I have fun. I have fun. I mean, if you go to work and you're not having fun at work,
Sure.
or you just go there for the salary, or you go there to just.
But you have to make the teaching fun too,
Absolutely,
though,
and that's why I told you were exposed, probably in the wrong way, and that caused you to not like math. But regardless of you like it or not, we gotta do it.
Yes.
So you might as well enjoy it.
Yes, sure.
Yeah.
All right. So you did your teaching thing from the beginning. Did you progress within that school?
Yes. I got. You are not. As you get there, you're not put in classes that would probably cause you to fail. Because they don't want to set you up for failure, but at the same time you've got to get a job done. So, but I progressed in it in the education system. I was nominated in 2012, I think, for there's this biannual Teachers Award ceremony that the ministry does in collab with NBD, and I was nominated in 2012. I remember the ministry officials coming to my class and supervising me. I remember the remarks. I remember all of that. I went to the award ceremony. I did not win. I came in second.
Oh.
But that's okay.
Yes.
I was okay with that.
Okay.
Because I honestly didn't expect to have even, because I didn't. As I said to you, I am not a spotlight kind of person. So I was okay to work in the background.
And for some time, you were the head of department for maths.
Yes, I think I started in 2015 or so. Yeah, became the head of department. It was a shared responsibility, and then I was put on my own. So I was responsible for ensuring that the teachers they were on my direct supervision as well, making sure that the students.
While you were still teaching.
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
I see here that you also tutor for adult education. Why do you think, that's something that you took on and decided to assist the adults who probably didn't have the chance earlier on in life?
So a number of people, because of their, at the time when they go to school, and I've come to realize this, that mathematics takes a bit of maturity to get. You have to set your mind and your entire being to make sure that you get it.
You can put it whatever way you want to.
So I think, and then people are not given a second chance.
But mind you, I never failed it.
Okay, right.
I never failed it.
What you didn't like
I just didn't like it.
A lot of people, especially people in our area, I guess they're not given a second chance to really do it over and that kind of thing. So there was a new adult ed person in the area, my cousin Adassa, and she just took over the job, and she approached me and she said, we want to do some math classes CXC. I was like, okay, I'm fine with that. We use the basement of our church. We had a chalkboard that stood on the side. We had a room that held over 20 to 30 people, cramped little benches and kind of thing, humble beginnings.
Boy.
And we did a work class, and she said to me to make sure I say that was the first time that somebody had done a CXC class like that in the Kalinago territory, and it was a success.
Well
we had
done.
over 50% past the first
Well
year.
done.
And it has improved ever since. It keep improving. Students passing with ones and twos, and you still get a few
Adults,
here.
eh?
Adults
Yes,
who
yes.
said that they couldn't do math.
Yes.
So it shows that you can do it, no matter what age.
Of course. Is it ongoing?
Is it? It is. I have to put off my class tonight. So like.
Oh, I'm so sorry. I am so very sorry. I'm so very sorry. And that is another important thing, because you have to come from far to be here tonight.
Yes.
So we really do appreciate that as well.
I have some really good students this year. Because of COVID last year, we couldn't continue. So I just want to do it to make sure that they get, because some of the students that I remember, some of the first students who did it the very first year are now university graduates. Some of them actually went on to be and they needed it to have gone to university. So I'm glad that I lent a hand in that. I'm very proud of that. And I applaud the Adult Ed division for providing that opportunity, because mathematics is not something that you can take lightly. And a lot of students, because they did not get the proper exposure at high school, they fell along the way. And so that second chance program, I'm trying to use it to my best of my ability to just get them to get some stuff, get that CXC.
Somebody's just asking here, who is your mom? I don't think you mentioned her name.
My mom is Annette Auguste.
Annette Auguste is your mom?
Yes.
Okay, have I been seeing that person commenting there? Would she be on here commenting? Possibly, possibly not?
I'm not sure.
Could be.
Yeah, she's probably there.
Okay, so I mean, kudos to you, Kirk, for assisting the adults in your community.
Yes.
By giving them, assisting with that second chance program that they're being afforded the opportunity to learn. And I'm happy that you're getting good grades. I mean, it will never be foolproof,
right?
You know, but I'm sure that you're giving it your best and trying your best to give everyone the attention that they need and to ensure that they learn as much as they possibly can. Keep going. I don't know if it's something you get paid for. If you're getting paid for it, then more power to you.
We got a little stipend. Yeah.
But you know, keep doing that. Keep supporting the people of your community, of your.
Absolutely.
Of
like,
your
I will do
territory.
anything once it elevates my people. I'm down for it.
So you went straight to work.
Yes.
At what point did you realize that you need to go further than just CBSS, high school?
So after getting the commendations that I got for just being a teacher for a few years and being nominated in such a prestigious award, it just kind of motivated me to maybe I should get that degree. Maybe I should. And the honest truth is I didn't have expected to have stayed that long in teaching. It was a passing thing. You know, you want to work for a few years, get exposure, the experience, make a little money. So when you go to university, you know. And when I applied to UE, Barbados, Cave Hill in 2011, I got accepted. I was not prepared to go. Financially, there was not preparation done enough for that. So I had to just
shelve it. Yeah. Forget Kevin for now.
Yes.
Yes.
And so in 2014.
So that was what year?
That was 2012.
2012. So
2011, 12, yes.
3 years later.
Yes. I said, you know what? Let me try that online thing. And so I just jumped in. There was this math program, math education. I was in education, so I said, well, let's do it. Math education.
What was the degree?
Bachelor's in secondary mathematics.
In secondary mathematics. Yes. Okay, so right up your alley.
Right up my alley.
Right up your alley. So were you prepared for? You have to be prepared mentally for UE online.
Let me tell you this now. It's not. You know. It's not an easy thing. There's nothing easier about online schooling.
Yes. Because you're working.
You're working
extracurricular activities.
You've got a family.
Yes.
I had a newborn.
Oh my goodness.
Oh gosh. There were sleepless nights.
You'll be tired,
No. I had commitments with the Adult Ed. I had other church commitments. You know, there's a lot going on. Yes.
But you decided on it.
Yes.
And you got accepted.
Yes.
And you decided, I am made up my mind. I'm going to do this.
Yes.
Tell me what it was like.
It included a lot of math courses, which of course you breeze through and you enjoy those things. But then you also have the education part of it, where you just, all the reading and all the making sure that you study and all of that. The math courses were like breeze and I enjoyed those, but the other parts were pretty much, I didn't struggle for them, but it wasn't up my alley, so I had to put in the work for that, definitely. Right.
That's the thing about UE, not because you're focused on one particular area, that's all you're going to do. You do everything.
Yeah.
You you do accounts, you do whatever needs to be done. You do it as well as your base subjects as well. So it was how long did you take to?
It was a 4-year program. We were afforded 3 courses per semester.
Yes.
And 2 in the summer.
Yes.
Sometimes
the summer there are none you can do.
Well, for me, I
always had something
you could do.
Yes. Okay.
I always had. So it took exactly 4 years.
It took exactly 4 years.
And that includes Maria.
Yes. Yes.
A time I don't want to remember.
I know. None of us really want to remember Maria. How were you able to fund did you get a scholarship?
Right.
How were you able to fund your UE education?
My first year of UE was on my pocket. I mean,
mine has been on my pocket from the time I started.
It was taxing on my pocket. I had a family.
Yeah, because if you're doing 3 courses, that's about $3,000. Well, probably at your time it was a little cheaper.
It's about that. It's about
it's $9.72 per course or something like that.
It used to be $9.91. So we even decreased.
You think?
I
you sure it wasn't $8.91?
It was somewhere up in the 900s per course, and then of course you have your other fees to pay. I funded the first year on my pocket, and then I tried to get assistance. Didn't come through. So I went to 8 Bank. Bank gave me a small loan to fund that. I was blessed to receive a grant from the UE Open Campus Dominica, the Bernard Dinard Memorial Fund.
Nice.
It funded a semester, 2 semesters. I think it was like in January, my third year, January semester, as well as the summer. So it funded that.
Okay.
And in my last year, I had applied previously many times for the open scholarship at UE, and I finally got it in my last year.
Okay, thank goodness.
So that, because the money had already almost finished, so getting that in the last lap, I mean, trust me, because I'm over the summer trying to figure out how am I going to fund my last year. I mean, my last year, how am I going to fund it, But I'm grateful for Kimona and how she's doing at UE.
Yes,
she's fantastic.
Kimona is awesome. I like the summer programs and the other programs that they have. Courses.
I just did a short course in program management.
Oh, project management. Yes,
and
it's part of my course, so it's I think it's something that I will have to do.
So I wanted to go back for a little taste. Somebody said you want to go back and see more. I said no, I'm a learner. I'm an achiever, so I like to go into and do stuff. So I just wanted to get back the feel.
Yes.
I did get.
Yes. But it can be difficult, but you just have to be motivated.
Absolutely.
And you have to know what your objective, what your goal is at the end of it all, and just be focused on that. So that brings me, Kirk, to let us speak to those who are listening. Your students are listening. We know the journey was not easy. The good thing about, before UE Open Campus, everybody wanted to go away and study. They wanted to go to university. They wanted to go to New York, to Europe, to the US, wherever to go to study. But UE has provided this platform, and UE is one of the top recognized universities in the world. So I mean, UE is the perfect platform for that.
Right.
I want you to speak to your young people, to the adults, because I did it late. To be honest with you, and my story is a separate story by itself. But let us give some encouragement. Let us give some guidance. Let us give some motivation to those who are out there, or those who are thinking to study, to get a degree, you must cross the waters. You must cross the seas. You must go overseas. It is not necessary.
It is not necessary. The programs that they offer, I know they offer a lot of business and financial programs. In education, they do offer numeracy and literacy. They offer management and that sort of thing. So it is something that we should embrace as a region. It is something that you definitely need to embrace, because you support your own. You support your own with Caribbean lecturers, with Caribbean management, with Caribbean people. educated people educating others, and I think it's one of the better things, because who else knows our region more than our people? And so it is something too worthwhile. Although they don't have a lot of science and technology programs, and I guess maybe in the future that they will, because I did challenge them to that, the STEM programs, but they're doing a remarkable job at the moment.
And just similar to what you're saying, you know, someone is saying that they need to cater more to artistic people, and more programs, more options as well. But what we want to let the young people know, and those who probably left high school 10 years ago, 5 years ago, even 15 years ago, 20 years ago, you can still get that degree.
Of course.
It's never too late.
You know what I saw last night, Ferdina? There was this, I was watching BBC One, and they were showing a little documentary on this 57-year-old grandmother who was for the first time going to school. She became the head girl of the school, and then she graduated from the primary school being able to read. And that struck a chord, because of course you look at people, sometimes even our parents, our friends, and we say, you know, they are uneducated, but nobody can beat them at a game of domino on the roadside, you know. Nobody can beat them at a game of drafts, or nobody can calculate how much money they're supposed to get when that paycheck arrives, you know, because, you know, these people are brilliant. They just weren't given the opportunities. And so if I can do that, then that is one of my goals.
You were also the valedictorian for the Open Campus when you graduated that year. First of all, how did this happen? How did it come about? How did you get to know about it? What did you have to do?
Okay, so I finished up. Let me tell you, when you get that final assignment grade, the world becomes a little peanut, because you're just so happy to just finally. So you apply to graduate, not necessarily to go to the graduation, but to just get your paper, your certificate. I applied. I applied for graduation just on a whim, because we weren't too sure where it was going to be. Applied. A couple of weeks later, I got an email that said, you are one of the 8 people chosen from across the region, finalists, or the top 8 students in the Caribbean, and so you'll be vying for a valedictorian honor. And I was like, okay.
Did you expect that?
No.
You did not?
No.
Okay.
No. We were just doing, and I'm a high achiever. I am a perfectionist, so I'm always looking to get
the top grade.
To just get the top grade, So no, it wasn't something that I expected. Maybe that is why I never bothered with it. I didn't, honestly, I didn't. People around me were excited, but like, you know.
You're just in the top. To you, I'm just in the top 8.
And my response was like, but I'm not the top.
All right.
So it's not like something to celebrate. And some of my advisors were like, excuse you, you're in the top 8 in the Caribbean. That is an honor in itself. I was like, okay. And they're like, Kirk, getting it is not about you. It's not about you at this point. It's about mathematics. It's about the school you're at. It's about the community you come from. It's about your country.
True.
It's about Dominica. We had just
it's bigger than you, Kirk.
We had just gone through Maria.
Yes.
It's about that.
Yes.
So stop thinking about yourself and get it for us. That was the advice. So I was like, okay, well, more people are excited for me than my own self. And so it wasn't something that, you know, that I was, you know, pushing for or anything.
So what did you have to do after you got that email?
Right, so we had to send in a bio. We had to write up a draft of our speech. As a procrastinator that I am, I sent it a few minutes before the deadline.
Jesus.
A quick little thing I just put together. I was like, you know, whatever. Again, nonchalant about the whole thing. Yeah, just that I had to send, and they followed up with an interview. We were on a panel via Zoom. If I have to tell you about that process, it is bewildering, because we had gone through Maria, and you know the whole looting situation graduation. That very same day I was supposed to have had my interview on Zoom. There was another storm passing, and the government had already issued a curfew, and I had no internet in my area. And I was trying to get to my workplace to get internet, and curfew, can't leave. I got a top up. I had to download Zoom on my phone. Zoom, back then Zoom wasn't Zoom. So I had to download it on my phone. I was like, and they tell me my interview was, because I was in a special case, I couldn't have internet and all of that. I explained that to them. I sent out a message to them saying that. They asked me if I could have gone first to get it over with. So I said, sure. I just laid on my bed. It was like around 2 o'clock, the interview. I was 1:59. I was just like, I was like, I don't want to do that. I just want to,
you couldn't be bothered.
I honestly could not be bothered.
I believe you.
I took my phone, I logged in late. I don't know, I guess I was wanting to set myself for failure. I don't know why. I got on, I had a bomb interview, let me tell you. They asked me questions and I killed it. After I came up from my interview, I told my wife, if anybody else get it, they must have been really good. Because I just killed it.
Wow.
And that was in the week, like Wednesday or so. I got an email on Sunday after that. They just told me that they would email me whatever happens. An email saying congratulations for being one of the top 8. So my heart sunk at that time, because you know when you get that first
means
line that says,
it's not you.
Oh, my heart sunk, and then I read the second line. Congratulations, you have been given the honor. And I was
shivering.
I felt that kind of feeling.
Yes.
And I was at my in-laws with my wife, and I showed her my phone with the email, and she was like, could get it to you. Could get it. So it wasn't something. I went straight to my mother's house after. My mother lifted me off the ground. She was so excited. People were so, and I understood at that time, I understood why it wasn't about me. It was never
What
about me.
did it mean to you, Kirk, to get that?
It meant that the hard work did pay off, that the sleepless nights paid off. It meant that I have enough, I am enough, because growing up you sometimes feel like you're not enough, you're always hesitant, but it felt good, it really did, and again the excitement didn't even set in. Is when I got to St. Lucia, which we had a ceremony there, and just moments before heading on the stage, I was looking for the exit because I wanted to pee. I was looking for the exit. I was like, where is the exit? Because I can't go on that stage. I was never nervous. I was not. And then just prior to that, I walked on that stage. I opened up my folder with my speech, and there was just a calmness about it. I felt like I wasn't doing a math class.
Yes,
I was just in front of my class, and I just enjoyed it.
Did you deliver well?
I think I did.
Okay.
I think I did.
Did you plan, because from the way you spoke earlier, when you said you just applied for a certificate, so it's almost like you didn't have the intention of going to the graduation.
No, I honestly did not.
I picked that up from what you said earlier.
I did not. You know why? Because I looked at the cost.
Okay.
I looked at the cost. I have a family.
Yes.
So I'm like, okay, the hotel is expensive.
Priorities.
Airfare is expensive. Picture package, you're talking about food, you're talking about transportation and ground, you're talking about the gong and all of that, it's expensive. So I'm like, weigh my options. I can just, be here with my family, my certificate. It just means that I have my certificate. There's nothing really to really say to go to the ceremony or anything. I just wanted to get that certificate, it's all. So there was no intention to go to that ceremony. I went to it.
Valedictorian.
I went.
And the whole experience was what?
It was. Let me tell you. Again, I learned that it was never about me for that. It was never about me, because the stories that my fellow classmates and graduates at the time. There were people who lived in Dominica and migrated, and they came up to me and we were speaking. I've made some good friends from that, And they were like, Kirk, your story is so, you know, you're just an inspiration.
You are.
You just you know, you exude a certain thing that I guess maybe people see. I don't see it, but there was so much support, there was so much love. I did not expect it, you know, and my wife troubles me all the time because she thinks that I get a big head, that kind of thing. So what I like to tell people, sometimes I get recognized at the airport when I was on my way back home. Yeah, so
of course.
You want to Valedictorian, so you that kind of thing. I was like,
did you get any special treatment?
I did.
Oh.
I got a hotel.
Also, you didn't have to pay for your hotel?
No, that was the perks of it. I didn't have to pay for the hotel. And I got invited to the little special parties, so I got to rub shoulders a little bit with the Chancellor and Dr. Beckles, you know, famous Caribbean.
Your mom
educator.
said she was all in tears listening to your speech. Oh.
Yes.
She must be so proud.
I am happy that she is.
Yeah, she must be so very proud.
Yeah, I could bring my wife, but I couldn't bring my son.
Okay.
And one of my best friends came too, so we were there and we were just enjoying the moment. Yes.
It was a moment to be enjoyed.
I think so.
It was history in the making for your Kalinago people, for your country.
Yes.
You know, for yourself, obviously. I don't know when last we had a Dominican as the valedictorian.
We had one. I think you had mentioned that we had a young man from Salisbury, I think.
Okay.
He was the valedictorian, one of the first ones.
Okay.
But there was a huge gap. And then after me was the secretary, I think, at Portsmouth Secondary. So
okay.
I knew what it meant, so I had to I messaged her exactly when I got it, when I got the information. This year we had a finalist from Dominica.
Okay.
So one of my friends, one of my UWE friends, and so she messaged me to tell me, you know, she kind of had the same nonchalant attitude. She didn't. So I sought her number.
Yes, sir.
And I called her for that. And I said, let me tell you, I don't tell you the same thing that they told me. It's not about you.
Yes.
Get it.
Yes.
She didn't get it, but I am so very proud of her. I do not know who she is. I've never met her, I think. But I'm so very proud of her because it is a beautiful feat to have accomplished.
And I think, you know, congratulations are still very much in order for you.
Thank you.
3 years later, it is?
2018, so
yes, 3 years,
later,
2021,
yes.
so 3 years later thereabout, and I'm sure everyone is still very proud of you, and it's okay to get a little big head, you know, over something like that.
Don't
It's
tell
all
that
right.
to my mother.
It's all right. It's all right, and I hope that your students, you know, learn from your experience and that they are inspired by you and motivated to do well even after hearing you tonight. I hope that, you know, it gives them a little nudge and, you know, motivate them to do much better and to do well and to strive, you know, to get to the top like you.
Absolutely.
Like you.
Absolutely.
All right. It is 9:39, the time in the studios. I've been accused of not taking calls for the last few programs. So I'm going to continue talking to Kirk, but if you would like to call in, I'll welcome that. I'll take a moment to take your calls. We have the overseas number, which is 305-432-9624. We also have the on-air numbers, 449-3095, 449-3096. 449-3097, and yeah, these are the numbers that you can call if you want to chat with us for a bit. If you just want to congratulate Kirk, even if it's 3 years later, that we will definitely take your calls. All right, so we're going to talk some more this time. Let's talk a bit about your role in the community. Yes, your role in the community. Kirk, a little distraction there. So tell me, in terms of your social life, your social engagements, tell me how active you've been, what you've been doing.
try to be active because I like my alone time. And after dealing with students for an entire day, you want your alone time. But I try to engage and try to be as helpful as I can. So apart from the adult ed classes that I hold, I do have a passion for youth ministry. And so I work with my church in that. I am the youth director, the youth president, as well for some of our churches on the island. So,
what church do you
The Nazarene Church, the Church of the Nazarene, yes. So I work with my young people and I enjoy it. A number of adults come to youth nights and they say, how do you even manage those children? And I'm like, we just manage them because they are the future. They are now. And if we don't deal with them now, if we don't engage them now, a few years later, there's no sense in trying to. So I'm passionate about my youth ministry. Okay. I also serve as a member of the Kalinago Sports Association. And the last couple of years, I've been the secretary, where we hold the prestigious, and I'm going to say that, the prestigious Kalinago Premier League. One of the biggest, if not the biggest and most exciting cricket league in the Dominica. Okay. And we are very proud of that. We draw crowds in the thousands, and we have a lot of young, talented cricketers. So I'm just happy to be a part of that upbringing, of that, of that sport. What else do I do?
You're a member of the board of the same church
board, yes,
that you belong to, and you're also youth camp director. You did that for a few years.
Yes. We have a facility on the edge of the Kalinago territory, bordering Castlebrooks, a campsite. But Maria had something to say about it, so a few of our buildings have been destroyed. But prior to that, I was involved in camping ministry, just doing some work with young people again. Young people. So you have a passion for youth. I do.
It says that if you're a teacher, you work with youth ministry, you're into cricket, your cricket, the association, where again young people are involved in all of this. So you do have a passion. What I missed to ask you before we came on to the social engagement. So you've got the bachelor's. Do you have plans of going further?
Of course. Yes. COVID.
Are you doing anything currently?
Well, I did a short course with UE in semester 1, just passed. Okay. I do have plans. COVID may have otherwise to say, but as long as I can, get what I want to get, the master's is very close.
Master's is very close.
Yes.
Same math?
Of course. Of course.
Branch out.
I will branch out in math later on. Okay. But definitely mathematics.
Definitely mathematics. Yes. You want to go as far as you possibly can with your mathematics.
Oh, yes.
Okay, so he plans on continuing, guys, and we know that he's going to be in line. If they have valedictorians again, he might just go for a 4-peat, because for those of you who probably tuned in a little late, this gentleman was valedictorian at the Atkinson Primary School, valedictorian at the Castlebrooks Secondary School, and valedictorian at the UE Open Campus 2018. So clearly he's a bright gentleman, and what is important about his knowledge and his experience is that he passes it on to others with his adult education program, Second Chances, that he's doing within the community. But more importantly, he's a teacher. So you know the level of knowledge that he's imparting to his students on a daily basis, getting them to work hard and to strive to achieve. 9:45 is the time in the studios. We're just going to take a quick break, and we're coming right back with Kirk Edwards, our valedictorian, 3-peat valedictorian, in the studios here at Q95 FM.
In the spotlight on Q95 FM radio every morning night from 8 p.m. In the spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know our farmers, our public servants, youth, and the ordinary Dominicans. Listen to their stories. No limitations, no restrictions, no holds barred. In the Spotlight will also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM Radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. In the Spotlight.
On Q95 FM Radio every Monday night from 8 p.m. in the Spotlight, featuring people from all walks of Dominican life, spotlighting their triumphs and tragedies, dreams, hopes, and aspirations, untold stories, touching the human and personal side of our people in politics, religion, sports, business, music, culture, the media, and more. Getting to know
you all can hear
farmers,
us a little
public
chat. It's okay.
Youth, the ordinary Dominican. Listen
Good
to
evening
their
to
stories.
everyone on the
No
line.
limitations.
Thank
no
you guys
restrictions,
for joining
no
us.
rules barred. In the Spotlight, we'll also spotlight interesting topics, issues, and relevant situations. Don't miss In the Spotlight on Q95 FM Radio every Monday night from 8 p.m.
One-on-one with interesting personalities, educational and informative topics and issues, intriguing and entertaining. A must listen to In the Spotlight, Monday nights from 8 p.m. on Q95.
That's your theme song? That's your theme song?
Yes.
I like it.
Yes.
It sounds like if you could play it up, we play it on an orchestra kind of thing, like a Game of Thrones kind of thing.
And people love it. People love it.
Yeah,
Sometimes
yeah, I like
they
it.
don't mind that I let it play. They do. Sometimes they get a little annoyed
Yeah,
if I
no,
don't
like
start
it.
time. 12 minutes to the 10 o'clock hour. You know, guys, a little earlier on this evening, preparing to come here, you know, for whatever reason, I was just feeling so exhausted. I was feeling a bit tired, you know, to get here. And I said, no, you know, you have to go to do this interview. Something I always realize, you know, no matter how I feel, once I open the microphone, you know, it's let's go, you know. No one really knows, you know, how you're feeling even before you do that. But I'll tell you what, you know, just having this chat with Kirk tonight just lifted my spirits. It really I'm serious, it really lifted my spirits. And I think the message that's coming from Kirk is that nothing is impossible. There's nothing wrong in being a high achiever. There's nothing wrong in wanting to do well. There's nothing wrong in wanting to succeed. And even if, you know, there are obstacles, because the financial element is enough to just tell you quit. Right. You know, because you just cannot do it anymore because you do not have the money to do it. And but you continued, you know, you continued to persevere. You got your scholarships, you got some support, and at the end it all paid off. You had no intentions of going to graduation. You just wanted your certificate as an indication that you had done this and you were done, and you know, you now have a bachelor's degree. But that's not what God had planned for you. You know, God had a lot more planned for you in that particular situation. And it just says, you know, if we just put our mind to it, we put our heart to it, you know, things will happen. You are someone who, you're a believer.
I am.
You know, like we say, I've used the term Christian. People say believer is, you know, they prefer to use the term believer. Is that what you use? Or
I'm a child of God.
you're a child of
I'm
God.
a child of the King.
Yes, and you're deep in your church
Yes.
and in your beliefs
Yes.
and so on.
Yes.
So I suspect a lot of prayer
Absolutely,
you know,
absolutely.
a lot of asking God, you know, what do I do, you know, that kind of
Right.
thing. Some of
My
that
faith
happens.
has held me up. I'm thankful for those who prayed for me during the times. My wife, she often reminds me that her knees are sore from praying. But I am grateful for the support, the prayers. I take my faith quite seriously. And all of this is not for me. It's to God, to glorify God. And I am just so happy that I could be His vessel in whatever way I can.
You've received some awards. Let's talk about some of those, and I guess that's God again working for you. So in 2012, you received the Novice Teacher Award by the Ministry of Education, and that was the same biannual Teachers Award you were talking about. And how is that one decided?
Okay, so you get nominated by your school as somebody who just entered teaching, or somebody who is in the green hand teacher, we call them, and you get nominated based on your rating from school, your appraisal, and you get you get supervised by a number of processes. You get supervised by some Ministry of Education officials in stages, and so I think I was one of the top 3 being watched. You don't have any idea when they come in. They just show up and they just sit at the back of your class. Some engage, and so and based on ratings, based on what they see, based on what they're told, based on what the appraisal says, they select the top of the 3. I got some really good reviews that propelled me forward.
Yes.
I remember some of the education personnel really giving me some good commendations, and so I know that encouraged me more to be a better teacher. And
then the Adult Education Second Chances Program awarded.
Right. So they just give me a little thumbs up, which is always good.
It's a way of saying thank you.
Yes.
And we appreciate the work that
I really appreciate what they are doing. So the feeling is very mutual.
And let's see what we got again. The National Youth Council of Dominica recognized you for Outstanding Kalinago Youth Award.
That was some time ago. I was just, I guess I just got a call that said I was nominated to show up to a ceremony.
And you got your award.
Like, okay.
Okay, alright. And then your City Kings volleyball team. Tell me about that.
Right. So we started off a volleyball team in the Kalinago territory. We were one of the teams. We played in the Division 2 of the National League, and we were quite green hand. We got blows the first year, let me tell you. But we regrouped, and we came in and we won the second time around. We came in second again the year after that, and it was just a fun time of my guys. We met up, we trained, we had a good time, man. And I enjoyed that little aspect of my life. We don't play anymore. Some of my grades, some have gone here and there. Maybe we can regroup eventually, but maybe not. Maybe not.
Other things
may come up.
Tell me what it is about watching psychological thrillers that thrill you.
You see the theme song that you were playing a while ago. It sounded much like a introduction or a suspenseful moment. That I told her I love the theme song, and I don't know. I guess the mystery behind of it. The craft of somebody developing I don't know. I like the shows with the doctor shows. I like those kinds of things. I like the gory ones, Game of Thrones, and what was the other one I was watching the other day? Just remember, huge Game of Thrones fan. But I just like the whole aspect of it. Yeah. Okay.
Kirk, we have 5 minutes left on the program, and I really want to thank all those of you who've been saying, great interview, great program. We really appreciate that. You appreciate what we're doing here tonight. You have some projects that you're working on.
Oh,
I would appreciate if you share with us. especially if it's something that requires support from us?
It definitely will help. So I started, but I have been tutoring since I was in college. It's a passion of mine as well, making sure that I just help as many as I can. So people have been reaching out to me, so I decided a few years ago to just start a business, start a tutoring business.
Good.
So on the side, I do Zoom classes, especially now with the COVID and all of that. I do Zoom classes. I have a few students. I help people with projects. Math projects, that is, with homework assignments, anything. Just shoot me a message. My number is 275-7844. Let me give you that again, 275-7844. Shoot me a WhatsApp or message. We will figure it out. Math is never too hard. It is always achievable. We go through steps, either on Zoom or whatever. Make sure you get it. Make sure you get it. My wife also, so that is called Math Assist.
Math Assist.
Math
I like
Assist.
that, yes.
Math Assist with Mr. Edwards.
Yes.
That's a personalized tutoring service. So my other undertaking at present is something I'm doing in collaboration with my wife. Okay. It's Picture Perfect Events, Dominica.
Okay.
My wife is a huge organizer and that sort of thing, so she decided to create her business. And so we do event planning together, we do it. We do event planning and coordinating. We do decorating and decor, renting. We do cakes, catering. We do a whole bunch of things, you name it.
Nice.
We do it.
Do you have a Facebook page?
We do. It's
what is it
called
Picture Perfect
Events, DA.
Picture
Yes.
Perfect Events. So guys, let's support Kirk and his wife with this undertaking. Probably some of you are viewing right now and you probably you don't want to move from the live, but take a note, and as soon as you're done, go to look for the page, Picture Perfect Events DA, and give them a like, follow them and support them in whatever way that you can. We want Kirk to get that master's.
Right? Oh yes, oh yes.
Anything else, Kirk? So these are the two main things.
These are what I'm undertaking.
Math Assist and Picture Perfect Events DA.
Yes.
I really want to wish both you and your math project, Math Assist, and you and your wife, all the best with your project as well. And I hope that this program will assist you in getting some new customers.
I hope so.
Some new friends, some new followers, some new likes as well. Kirk, it's really been a pleasure chatting with you. We were not having an interview. I always say my programs are conversations.
Absolutely.
I don't put anybody under pressure. You need not worry when you come in on my program. We just have a conversation. We just chat. We laugh. We sometimes have a good time. Whatever the case might be. I really want to thank you for being here.
Thank you.
And I know you were a little reluctant initially, but I'm happy that you changed your mind and you came on to the program. I hardly ever get a no. Very rarely do I get a no from anyone, because I recently got a no. Let me tell you all who gave me a no recently. Checker, the Calypsonian. Checker, is someone, they call him the gentleman of Calypso. And I asked Checker to be on the program, and he says, Ferdina, I just do not like the spotlight. I sing my Calypso and that's it. I just do not like the spotlight. One of those days he sent me a note saying, great program, one of the former programs, and I said, this could have been you.
Right.
So I hope that you change your mind somewhere along the way. But guys, if I approach you to be on the program, once you feel you have a story to tell, especially if it's one that can motivate and inspire, and encourage others, to persevere and to do things that they have probably put on the back burner for some time, just a message from you or just a conversation with me here on the program can inspire and motivate them. I'm going to give you the opportunity, Kirk, to share your final comments with us on the program.
Okay, let me first say, wonderful program. The honor is mine, trust me. Let me just say that it doesn't matter your age, your social status, your financial status. It doesn't matter where you come from. What matters is a drive to do whatever you want to do. I tell my students that probably every day. If you find something that you're good at, passionate, and that can make you a living, Go do it and do it to the best of your ability. That way you will enjoy work and you will never work a day in life.
And never work a day in your
Never.
life. When you do what you enjoy.
Right.
Yes.
So find something that ignites your passion. Find something that livens you up, that wakes you up in the morning, and do it. And do it to the best. That is my advice to you. Not everybody is for the academics. Not everybody is for the skills. Find something. Find your niche and use it.
You did well, Kirk.
Thank you.
That is a wrap on the In the Spotlight radio show for tonight. The next two programs we'll actually be doing carnival-like programs. So our Miss Dominica, who didn't have much of a reign because of COVID, will be joining us next Monday. And Jude Deloney, I really look forward to having Jude Deloney on the program, the reigning Calypso Monarch of Dominica. He will be on the following Monday. Until then, ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for tuning into the program. Have a good night until we do it again.
Thank you for listening to In the Spotlight. We would love to hear from you. If you have suggestions,